Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about the power of moving on in silence.
Oh, this is an important one.
Yes, it really is, because it's so hard not to try and keep getting in front of your ex, to showing them that you've changed, to proving to them that you've changed, because you really feel like that's going to be the key to turning it around. Mm-hmm. But it's not so much about that. Of course, change is important. It's about allowing them to feel the loss and want you back, and then presenting those changes.
Right. And silence is so powerful. We are going to tell you why. The very first point is that silence acts as a mirror. And what do I mean by this? If we are reaching out to our ex, we are constantly thinking about what that interaction is. We are focused on what words we're using. We're focused on the syntax. We're thinking about what emojis we're including. Mm-hmm. We're thinking about what time of day we're sending that message to be more likely that they respond or how they respond. The irony is that we end up sending one with like 50 typos, because we're just so anxious and nervous. And so all of our focus is on that interaction, and we're analyzing their response. Even if there's no response, we're analyzing that. And so that can take up a lot of our mental energy. Versus if we are in no contact, if we are using silence to our advantage, all we are dealing with is our own thoughts and our own internal struggle.
Yep.
Man, I'm having the urge to reach out to them right now. Man, I miss them. What's going on with me internally? We have that opportunity when we're silent and we're allowing less stimuli from interacting with our ex. Mm-hmm. We face ourselves. So what we want you to understand in this point is that you won't be able to self-reflect to its fullest extent if you are obsessing over those interactions with your ex and not looking at the bigger picture and not looking at what's happening internally within you.
Yeah. Now, another thing that you really got to focus on is regulating that alarm going off inside of you that's taken over your unconscious on every level, every fiber of your being. I talked to somebody the other day who was talking about all the same symptoms, the diarrhea, the obsessive thoughts, not being able to sleep, not being able to eat. And you just can't stop thinking about it. It's like you're in a fog and all you can do is think about, how do I fix this? How do I get them back? Are they coming back? That's one of those big focuses that our mind keeps going back to. It's like, are they going to come back? Is this hopeless? And the hard part is that you have to push past all of those feelings of protesting, manipulating, trying to change their mind, trying to show them you've changed, and sit in this silence.
Right.
It is so tough.
It is really tough. And you have to remember that our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors, they're all connected, right? And so while you might be having that urge to reach out and do something, if we're able to really sit with silence, it will also help our thoughts and feelings and our behaviors. And so we have to think about this. Really, the takeaway here is that silence isn't even so much about your ex, but it's also about you learning to self-soothe and calm yourself.
Yep. And showing that you're okay. That is the most confident thing that you can show anyone.
Right. Now, with the power of silence is also the power of mystery. Who doesn't love a good mystery? You don't know what I'm going to say next. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah. Where is Yoda from? What's the name of his species? I don't know.
So
no,
I
do not. I don't understand. I do not.
And so my point here is that when there is silence, there's a chance for you to have your own experiences, right? When we're connecting with someone, yes, it's great to have shared interests. Yes, it's great to connect on the things that make us alike to someone else. But what's that je ne sais quoi, the sauce? It's in the differences. It's in, well, let me hear about an experience you've had that I haven't. What's different about you? What can I learn from you? How can you expand my mind, right? When we're connecting as human beings, it's an expansive experience. Man, I'm getting hippie here. But it really is. And so when we have silence with our ex, we're allowing that time for you to really become your own individual, to really re-inject that mystery into your life. And that's something that can be very, very powerful and enticing.
And it also takes away that pressure and that feeling of irritation, or that you won't leave them alone too, which is important.
Yeah, exactly. So takeaway here is that mystery is within attraction, and you have a lot of power with silence and creating mystery.
Yeah, and you don't want to give that up in a simple text, which is probably going to be ignored or not go the way you want it to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Our next point is seeing how the power dynamics shift. So we've talked about this before, how your ex in the beginning is in that relief stage. It feels like they have all the power because they made this big decision for the relationship that affected both of you. And so now you're kind of in the aftermath of that. And how do you regain your self-worth? How do you regain your self-respect after a breakup?
Yeah. And you need the time to pass. Like I say all the time, feelings change like the clouds that move across the sky. And they do. And that's part of the power dynamic shifting, where it's not so much, I'm certain about this decision. Your ex is like the ice wall in Game of Thrones. You don't know what that is,
Nope.
but most of our listeners
I'm
probably
playing along.
where they're ice cold, it can slowly shift to where they're wondering and feeling different things. And this slow process of, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe the things that I was focusing on aren't that important. Maybe we can work through this. Maybe I don't want to lose this person for good. So your ex can go through a lot of those things when you stay silent.
And so the takeaway here really is that you are able to regain your power the moment that they realize that your presence is a privilege, that they don't have this, easily accessible route to you, is that you also value your time and that you are going to be intentional with your time.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to sit there and try and change the whole situation through manipulation, talking to them about it, doing all these different strategies that ultimately aren't going to change somebody's mind. They're likely to put their guard up more by trying to get them to do something that they're not comfortable with or ready to do. And so you want to show this confidence within yourself by leaving them alone. And believe me, when you stop reaching out, they slowly start to think, oh, how come I haven't heard from them? That you're showing that you are the mountain, that you can handle anything. And that is very attractive. So the shift will happen slowly over time as they kind of stalk your social media, wonder if there's anything there. If you're not posting, oh, where are they at? What are they doing? All those kinds of things can shift through the curiosity, the unknown, and things like that.
Right. And so you have to be careful to not over-explain yourself, because we do see a lot of people right after the breakup trying to convince their ex by saying, oh, but I'm working on this and I'm going to go to therapy and I'm going to do all these things. And you try to justify, what's happened in the relationship. And your ex is just kind of there in disbelief. They've experienced the relationship. They've ended the relationship. They're kind of in a place of feeling hopeless. And so with silence, you're able to have that time to have that progress in your life, reflect, and make those changes to where you don't have to explain yourself. It's something that will be sensed. Oh my gosh, when I'm around my ex, I feel something totally different. I see the way that they respond to me. I see the way that they address, how they're feeling. I see just how much more emotionally intelligent they are or where they are. And so avoid explaining yourself, avoid trying to justify everything, allow things to just be, and allow your progress, allow you growing and going through that process of growth to speak for itself.
Yep. And the last point we wanted to get to is that silence is going to protect your dignity. When you show that you are okay without them, and that, you don't have to post on social media if you don't want to. You can let them wonder if you want to. In fact, I'd rather you guys post less than more.
Yeah.
Some of you guys are posting 18 times a day.
Yeah.
I got to yell at you guys. Come on, man. What are you doing? That allows them to respect you in a way, because you're showing attractive behaviors. And you are no longer begging somebody in different ways, in various forms, to keep them in your life if they don't want to be there.
And that's huge. You know, you have to be able to retain that self-respect in a breakup. Is to be able to say, okay, I have worth. Yes, this relationship didn't go as planned. Does not mean that you're a failure in life. A lot of times we can end up carrying that guilt, that shame from the breakup. We end up in a very low place with our self-esteem. And so if we're able to give ourselves that silence, we have that time to really rebuild.
Yep.
So the takeaway here is if the relationship's going to end, let it end with some dignity, not with begging, trying to convince, trying to, have somebody see your worth,
Yep.
but rather being able to stand tall, being able to own up to the mistakes that happened, and being able to, push forward and try to grow in this.
Yep.
So I know a lot of times we try to justify, we can over apologize, we can just kind of fall into that pit of, oh my God, I'm the worst and I can't believe I destroyed this really loving, close thing. But we have to shake ourselves off and enter a new mindset of, okay, I'm an adult, I'm trying this relationship thing and I'm not going to get it right all the time.
All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. And if you'd like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.